Is there anybody here that has chaos in their life? Ooh. Wow. Okay. Is there anybody here that is absolutely sure about their life's path, about where you're going to be in the next 30 years? Okay, a few of you. Now let me see if I can really rattle you. Is there anybody here unsure about what they want to be when they grow up? Where you want to be in a year? How about 5 years? How about 40 years? Okay. Y'all know about entropy, right? Entropy is the universal tendency towards disorder, disorganization, disintegration, and chaos. Sir Isaac Newton had the law of increased entropy, which stated that the total entropy of any isolated system, meaning you or me, increases over time, basically achieves a maximum value. Entropy happens. Chaos in life happens. Life just throws you into chaos. Things get screwed up, don't they? The joy of life and chaos is that it also gives you these people or these things that help you either into or out of this chaos, these kindred spirits, if you will, whether good or bad. So you're all sitting here, dressed pretty nicely, actually. You seem to have survived the chaos that we talked about pretty much unscathed. It's a good thing. I'm now going to take you back in time. I've got a really big time machine. You ready? Whoop, here we go. We are now back in my college career in the 80s, the 1980s. How many of you are about that place, about that age? Okay. Some of you graduate. Okay. So growing up, I loved.
It's a crazy situation, it depends on how you see it. When I grab the microphone, some might say that I'm a genius. They want fortune and fame, but I give them what they needed. I'm the hottest rapper out. Some might say that I'm conceited. I'm gonna put this thing together. If it take me all evening, I can't see through the glass. Can somebody pass the squeegee? I helped all that I could. Turned around and did me greasy. And this ain't no Kaepernick. Gotta see it to believe it. And when I wrote this verse, couldn't believe the words I'm reading. They rap's a little bland, they just need a little seasoning. Generation of curse, man, the pattern keep repeating. Welcome to Good Burger, shout out to Kellen Keenan. We gon' make it through the storm, we gon' make it, we gon' make it. We just gotta carry on, we gon' make it, we gon' make it. Though this journey may be long, we gon' make it, we gon' make it. Been this way since I was born, we gon' make it, we gon' make it.
Yes. I had every sort of pet, snakes, dogs, horses, you name it, I had it as a pet. So I thought, gee, you know what, I would be a great veterinarian. So, sure enough, with great enthusiasm, I went to the freshman program at the...
We gon' make it through the storm, we gon' make it, we gon' make it. We just gotta carry on, we gon' make it, we gon' make it. Though this journey may be long, we gon' make it, we gon' make it. Been this way since I was born, we gon' make it, we gon' make it.
University of Albany, in Albany, New York. I was 17. I was from Syracuse, New York, so first year jitters. Halfway through my freshman semester, my mom found out she had brain cancer, a really nasty, aggressive astrocytoma. I left school. I moved home. I had younger brothers that needed to be taken care of. Life threw my mom and our family into total chaos that we didn't expect. The doctor gave my mom a 10% chance of making it off the surgery table.
My daughter made my nerves, she made her father proud. Which way do we go? Not that hard to figure out. I'm not that hard to spot. I don't blend in with the crowd. When the pencil hit the pad, the outcome is so profound, full of negativity. Why you even come around? My testimony, it'll make you wanna shout. I'm back from the dead, I was out for the count. For what it's worth, man, they always count me out. They gon' hit you where it hurt, and that's without a doubt. The pretenders keep pretending, but I went a different route. They can talk about the subject, but don't know what it's about. It come from the heart, if it come out my mouth. Let's go. God every day, and I look to him for guidance. Everything sound good as we sit here in the silence. I'm admired for my strength, and I'm looked at like a giant. Didn't have what we needed, so we used what was provided. Let's go.
Waiting for that day was horrible. My mom was so scared. I would find her on the back porch in the middle of the night, in the middle of her chaos, just crying.
Look to God every day, and I look to Him for guidance. Everything sound good as we sit here in the silence. I'm admired for my strength, and I'm looked at as a giant. Didn't have what we needed, so we used what was provided. Let's go.
We were all in chaos as a family. Night before the surgery, this woman came into my mom's hospital room. This kindred spirit. She said to my mom, you know, I had a brain tumor as well, and I had it removed, and I'm okay. I'm going to tell you, it's all going to be okay. With that, she left. So I followed her out, said goodbye to her, came back, and my mom was peacefully asleep. The first time since her diagnosis 3 months prior. Everything was okay. She survived the surgery, albeit with some deficits afterwards, lots of chaos, lots of physical therapy, occupational therapy, all kinds of therapies, but she made it. At that point, I had no idea what I was doing. So I thought, well, I'll volunteer with a local veterinarian just to kind of get my life in order. So I did. One day, my little pet hamster, Sammy, who had kind of been my therapy hamster, got sick. So I brought this hamster to this veterinarian, old school doctor. As I walked in the door, Sammy died. The vet said to me, you're going to be a veterinarian, right? Yeah. You want to see why Sammy died? Okay. With that, he took my little therapy pet, put her in a pie plate, cut her from her chin to her pelvis, and opened her up. I stood there horrified. This vet said to me, this kindred spirit said to me, yep, an aneurysm, see? It was that exact moment I knew I did not want to be a veterinarian. Next day, I went into my advisor's office, who was in the biology department at that point in time, pretty distraught. This kindred spirit guided me. She said, okay, biology's not your thing. You're pretty good in math. How about a math major? With that, I became a math major. As I left her office, she said to me, you know what, Barb? I'm sorry you're not going to be a veterinarian, but you have to follow your path. So I did. Became a math major. About 3 years later, graduated. Had no idea what I was going to do with this math degree, because remember, I was going to be a veterinarian, right? So I went to my career office in my local school, or in my school, and I highly recommend that to any of you students. They put me in touch with the alumni. Alumni was in Boston. This kindred spirit.
They say time don't do it. I can't really help myself. Constantly disregarded like they don't know I'm him. By the time they wake up, I'm already in the gym, standing next to the kid. Man, they chances next to slim. We only down by 2, so I'm going for the win. They be hating all the time, but I act like I don't hear them. They be pulling at my jersey. Man, that's past interference. Lyrics of the gift. And my flow hot like some peppers. I got hustle and flow. So I feel this like a parent. They thought they had me, try to use it as leverage. They risk it all, but the loss was substantial. While they call you just in time, every verse I drop is pressure. Let's go. If you in a rush, you just mess it up faster. Hit a time burst, the impact is everlasting. My flow colder than the ice cube in Alaska. We can move forward, but we choose to move backwards.
Helped me to get a job in Boston. Woohoo! I was moving. Chaos with that, though. I was about to begin my life, but I was leaving my family, my mom.
If you in a rush, you just mess it up faster. Your time burst, the impact is everlasting. My flow colder than the ice cube in Alaska. We can move forward, but we choose to move backwards.
My little brothers, they were okay, but I was torn. I left. Worked for about 2 years in Boston. Didn't like it. Felt unsettled. Didn't know why. Was unhappy. So one day, I made this huge mistake on this report that went out to one of our biggest stakeholders. I screwed it up. My boss called me in, said, Barb, yep, you screwed it up. But then this kindred spirit said to me, you know what? You're not happy, are you? No, I said. I'm not happy.
I rap verses without curses while they live without a care. I always count on God, cause I know He will be there. We walking up a hill, but we not going anywhere. It's like we standing still, man, I swear we unaware. As soon as I walk in, man, it's tension in the air. I changed the game, man, I had to volunteer. Come just to hate, man, get up out of here. In the valley of the shadows, walking around without a fear. The devil always tests me, but I always persevere. We started from the floor, reaching for the chandelier. This might make your knees weak, you might wanna grab a chair. You can't hear me in the back, let me make it loud and clear. I play the part of Danny Glover, there's no one that can replace me. Everybody got a dream, but sometimes you gotta chase it. The walls was caving in, I bounced back and made a statement. If you see the things I seen, you will look from different angles. Let's go.
I screwed this up, but I screwed everything else up. I screwed up being here. I screwed up being in this place, in this office. With that, I thought, well, okay, let's try maybe another city. I researched.
I play the part of Danny Glover, there's no one that can replace me. Everybody got a dream, but sometimes you gotta chase. When the walls was caving in, I bounced back and made a statement. If you seen the things I seen, you will look from different angles. Let's go.
So I got another job, moved to Philadelphia. At that point, I was about 23. Still not happy. Unsettled. I had this lovely little neighbor in the apartment that I lived in. Her name was Ellie. Again, I was 23, Ellie was 92. Oh, Ellie, she had such great life experience, and she made a mean cup of coffee. I would sit with Ellie in the evenings, and we would just talk about life, basically. And Ellie used to tell me, Barb, you have to be happy and satisfied in what you're doing. And I wasn't. 2 cities, 2 jobs, and I wasn't happy. This kindred spirit helped me to realize that. My defining moment, if you will, was also due to a cup of coffee. Where I sat in my cube in the office, I had this door, and it faced this communal coffee pot. So one day, I came in, and I was tired, it was in the afternoon, and I decided to make a pot of coffee. The day before, I had taken this exam that was part of my job. I had studied for months. I had been up late. You all know how this goes. And I was pretty sure I hadn't passed it. So I went over to this cup of coffee, this pot of coffee, to kind of console myself. Now, with this old-fashioned coffee pot, you take a big old pot of water, you pour it in the reservoir, right? You shove the coffee grounds in, and you push the on button. That's simple. What I didn't realize was that in the back is this sneaky little button that you can push that either makes 10 cups or 12 cups of coffee. Mine, apparently, on this fateful day, was on the 10-cup pot of coffee. So, went back to my office, doing my work, waiting for my coffee to go, and all of a sudden, this executive, this big executive guy from down the hall, comes down. He would frequent the coffee pot pretty often. Comes down, goes to the coffee pot. Now, he also didn't know the little trick about the 10-cup and the 12-cup pot. He thought I had stolen the first cup of precious coffee out of this pot before it continued to fill to the top. He turned in front of the entire office, walked in and said, "You idiot! You stole the first cup of coffee out of the pot! You are so stupid!"